Musk exercises his media muscle by suspending journalists on Twitter. Elon Musk's decision to abruptly ban a number of journalists from Twitter on Friday provoked criticism from First Amendment supporters, threats of fines from European authorities, and concerns about the viability of the social media site as a hub for news and ideas. But the decision also highlighted the significance of a simpler, more permanent aspect of American life, the press baron, as people argued sophisticated, innovative questions of free speech and internet censorship. Hello there, Mr. Musk. Like Rupert Murdoch and William Randolph Hearst before him, Elon Musk now has influence over a significant mass media production system. Journalists were drawn to Twitter because it advertised itself as a virtual town square, despite Twitter being a different animal from newspapers and TV networks. Now Mr. Musk is showing off his ownership power in what appears to be arbitrary ways, purging accounts that personally irritate him, despite his expressed desire that even my toughest critics remain on Twitter. The brief suspensions affected journalists from CNN, The New York Times, and The Washington Post. After Mr. Musk conducted an informal poll of Twitter users on the subject, several of the accounts were reactivated late Friday. The journalists were suspended by Twitter after Mr. Musk accused them of violating the platform's policies regarding invasions of privacy. After Mr. Musk claimed that a crazy stalker assaulted a car in which one of his boys was traveling, Twitter recently shut down an account, @ElonJet, that followed the whereabouts of Mr. Musk's private plane using publicly available flight data. During a brief Twitter audio session with reporters on Thursday, Mr. Musk said, "You're not special because you're a journalist, you're a citizen, so no special treatment." He said, "You docs, you get suspended, end of story," employing a phrase for publicizing unwanted personal information. However, it was unclear exactly how the journalists Mr. Musk had suspended had broken Twitter's rules. Some of the journalists had previously published scathing articles about Mr. Musk's management of Twitter, others had written about the removal of @ElonJet and other accounts that tracked private planes or were tied to those accounts. The account of Lynette Lopez, a journalist who has written on inquiries into Tesla, another business owned by Mr. Musk, was suspended by Twitter on Friday. Mr. Musk recently stated that @ElonJet would be permitted to continue using Twitter. A popular theme for Mr. Musk, who has acquired millions of online admirers in part by portraying himself as a First Amendment absolutist, intent to stomp out any biases on the part of Twitter's prior management, was that the vow showed my dedication to free expression, he claimed. Participation by journalists on Twitter, a privately held company, does not equate to free speech. Journalists are allowed to disseminate their work on the platforms of their own businesses and through other social media platforms. But for more than a decade, Twitter has played a special role in the ecosystem of news and information, drawing journalists to share their work, build relationships with sources, and discuss current events. Additionally, it has facilitated the entry of writers from outside of recognized institutions into the political and cultural discourse. Media sites claimed that Twitter had behaved arbitrarily in a way that may be used to intimidate journalists who write about Mr. Musk's enterprises in the wake of his bans. According to Jody Ginsburg, president of the Committee to Protect Journalists, if proven as retaliation for their work, this would be a major breach of journalists' ability to report the news without fear of reprisal. The suspensions were labeled as impulsive and unjustifiable by CNN and as questionable by the New York Times. European Union legislators also voiced opposition. The action, according to Vera Jourova, a vice president of the European Commission, breached both the EU's Media Freedom Act and Digital Services Act, which act as a kind of guide for policing online content. Red lines are present. And soon, sanctions, she wrote in a tweet on Friday. Mr. Musk vehemently disagreed with those criticisms, asserting that acts performed by Twitter under its former owners, such as the banning of tweets linked to a 2020 New York Post article about Joseph R. Biden Jr.'s son, Hunter, had amounted to censorship of conservative beliefs. He derided journalists for raising the alarm.